Hello everyone! Body language can be a funny thing. Depending on where you are in the world, certain gestures can either mean you're making a new mate or landing yourself in hot water. In this video, we're going to look at the definition of hand gestures around the world. The OK. In most of the English-speaking world, as well as in several other countries, this hand gesture means that everything is fine, great, okay, or perfect. In Brazil, however, it is considered a rude gesture, equivalent to the one-finger salute. The most famous example of this was in the 1950s when Richard Nixon visited Brazil and flashed the OK sign to a waiting crowd upon arriving in Rio de Janeiro, who responded with boos. The horn. In USA, this gesture is adopted by rockers as a sign of approval and, in essence, to rock on. But in many Mediterranean and Latin countries such as Argentina, Brazil, Colombia, Cuba, Spain, Italy, and Portugal, to make this sign at someone is to tell them that their spouse is cheating on them. The fingers all together. In Italy, this gesture means, "What is this?" or "What do you want?" But in Democratic Republic of Congo, this gesture is a sign for a small amount of something. In Turkey, however, it indicates that something is beautiful or well. And in Egypt, it's a motion to show you'll only be a minute. The thumbs up. In most countries, this gesture is a sign of approval. In some other countries, however, such as Iran, Iraq, or Afghanistan, this gesture is seen as an up yours. The crossed fingers. In the UK, Australia, USA, and Canada, this gesture of crossing one's fingers is to wish for good luck. But it is a whole different meaning in Vietnam. This gesture is seen as lewd in Vietnam because crossed fingers are said to resemble female genitals. The V sign. In USA, this is a harmless backward sign for peace. In the UK, Australia, Ireland, and New Zealand, however, this sign is seen as rude and frequently used to signify contempt or defiance towards authority. The come here. In the English-speaking countries such as UK, Australia, USA, and Canada, this gesture is used to motion somebody to come over. But in the Philippines, this gesture is considered highly offensive when motioned to another person because this gesture is reserved for dogs. The point. In European countries like Belgium, the Netherlands, Germany, and Austria, this is considered as a gesture for the number 2. In China, however, it is a gesture for the number 8. And Italy, this hand gesture is used to indicate that something is not good. The downwards palm wave. In the UK, Australia, USA, and Canada, this gesture indicates go away, and it is usually used to shoo somebody off. But in Philippines, Vietnam, India, and Ghana, this gesture indicates come here, because having an upwards palm is considered rude in these countries, hence the downwards palm approach. The chin flick. In France, Belgium, and Tunisia, the chin flick is used to express supreme disinterest, or to tell someone to get lost. And in Italy, it is used to express, "I don't give a damn." The fist and elbow. In many Latin countries, such as Mexico and South Americans, this gesture is known as the tacano, and it means stingy, because it illustrates that the recipient rarely extends their arm to pay the bills. In Austria and Germany, however, this gesture indicates that the recipient is an idiot, and their brain is in their elbow. The forehand fist. In Brazil, this gesture is most effective with multiple grunts, and it is done to indicate stupidity. The thumb in a fist. In Australia, UK, and Canada, the thumb in a fist is a common playful gesture used by adults towards children, pretending to have stolen a child's nose. In Turkey, however, this is seen as aggressive and rude. The outward hand. In Greece, Africa, and Pakistan, this gesture is seen as insulting or confrontational, as this gesture evolved from the traditional practice of rubbing dirt, feces, or ashes into the faces of convicts. The awkward turtle. In the USA, this is used as a public acknowledgement that one's gaffe has caused social embarrassment. And in American Sign Language, this gesture means Platypus.